Calaroga Shark Media.
Hey there, I'm Johnny Mac with your daily comedy news. If you missed yesterday I listed the top comedy specials of 2024 and gave you 16 specials you should watch. As I said yesterday, it's just a list. Don't get upset over it. Don't overanalyze it. Don't be like, I can't believe you had that one at number 9. That should be number 7, and you have number 11 too low, and that should be number... It's just a list. Your list is just as valid as mine. Today's tier I have called 14 More Good Specials. So when I make these lists, I go along throughout the year. I open a little notepad on my Mac, and as I watch comedy specials, I rank them. So for example, on January 7th, Gabe Iglesias will probably be the first special of the year that I've seen. It will either make tier A, where I'll write number 1, Gabe Iglesias, or I will put it in the third tier, which we'll get in tomorrow, which is, this ain't gonna make the list. Then a second special comes out and say Gabe was number 1, then the second special comes out, and I either put it above Gabe or below Gabe, and then if I don't like it, the second special goes on the not gonna make the list. So these ones are good. They're just a step down in class from the ones I read yesterday. The ones I read yesterday, I was like, oh, these are solid. These next ones, they're good. I do have them ranked. The hesitation of my voice is, the first one up here is like Seth Meyers' Dead Man Walking. That came out on HBO in October. But I don't want to make it seem like that's far and away the best out of this set. It's just the same thing. I rank them, and Seth is slightly better than Tom Papa's special, who I have at number 2. Tom Papa's Home Free on Netflix. Both perfectly fine specials. You want to sit on the couch and laugh for an hour? Great. They just don't have that extra that makes me put it in the top list, you know? Number 3 in this tier, which would be number 19 overall, if you want to look at it that way and listen to yesterday's episode, Ellen DeGeneres' special. You know, traditionally, I've liked Ellen's comedy. I thought the old Ellen came out here for a bit. I liked her pigeon bit. But boy, there was too much of a victory lap. I mean, at one point, there's like 7 minutes, and that's not a made-up number, of a standing ovation. And it's like, come on. Little too much patting on the back, and that's coming from someone who likes to pat himself on the back. So Ellen might have made the top list, but just left not a bad taste in my mouth, but a taste in my mouth regardless. Greg Fitzsimmons was on YouTube in August. My note to myself, 80% funny, however, 20% hack. It's a weird mix. When he's rolling, and then he'll just do some very hacky material, so that dragged it down out of the top tier, but that would be number 4/20 overall. Next up, Cat Williams' Woke Folk, and I wrote next to it, so disappointing. Coming off the Shannon Sharp interview, you just expected Cat to come out and just rip everybody. And it was fine. Cat Williams doing Cat Williams things, probably even a good version of Cat Williams doing Cat Williams things, but just it didn't match the excitement leading into it. So it was okay. Number 6/21, Hannah Gatsby's Gender Agenda. I like Hannah. I thought their second special, that one's Douglas, was better than the first one, which I can't remember the name of, that everybody put in the Comedy Hall of Fame. I actually thought the second one was better. This one, not as good as either one, but, nice, solid special. Connor O'Malley's Stand-Up Solutions is really interesting, high concept, pretty funny. It's on YouTube. It is the type of thing I'm inclined to like. But it's a bit of a roller coaster. There's some great moments, then there's some lags, but he went for it, so I appreciate that. Next up, Adam Ray's Dr. Phil Live surprised the heck out of me on Netflix in November. During the first half of it, I was texting friends, brought my wife down, like, you got to see this, you got to see this. And then it was diminishing returns. There were some cameos from famous people that I won't spoil that show up. But the front half is really strong, and it tails off. Probably should have been half as long as it was. But I did like that one a lot. And we'll take the break here, and I'll come back, and I'll tell you some more. Next up, it would be the number 25 special overall, but again, we're in the second tier here. Brian Simpson, Live from the Mothership. That was on Netflix in March. Brian drafting off some Rogan fame, and well-deserved. Funny special. 26, Tig Notaro had a special on Amazon in March. Do you even remember that one? It was fine. Tig Notaro doing Tig Notaro things. 27, Taylor Tomlinson special on Netflix in February. This is another one of those that at first I was like, oh, this is really good, and it just went on a little too long. I also wrote the note, she doesn't need F-bombs. She could work a little more clean than she does, and TV will bring that discipline to her. So she's, if we're buying stocks, buy stock in Taylor Tomlinson, I would say. She got kind of hyper after a while, too. It was fatiguing to watch. Rachel Feinstein had a special on Netflix. I wrote, nice enough. and that's what this tier is. Nice enough. It's funny. It's worthy of being on Johnny Mac's list. You know, it's nice enough. Also nice enough, Joe Rogan's Burn the Boats. Now, that was live on Netflix in August, so a lot of hype because he was live. And it was, fine. I was entertained. It wasn't amazing. And this next one is number 30 overall, but I've really warmed up to it. I should probably revisit my list here on the fly. I'll tell you what it is, and then let me look again and see if I can rescore this one. Adam Sandler's Love Ya. I'm not a fan of Adam Sandler's comedy at all, and yet this one was like, all right. Plus, I liked how he tried to do something. It had that weird pseudo-documentary feel. They were trying to pretend these weird things were happening to Adam in the moment when they're clearly staged, so it was art. It was interesting. But as I've thought back on the year, I'm thinking more fondly of that one. But I have it at number 30 and the last of Tier B. But let me look here as I rescore this. Like, especially in this group, is Sandler better than Seth, Papa, Ellen, Fitzsimmons, Kat, Hannah, Connor O'Malley? Yeah, maybe not Dr. Phil Live. Is it better than Brian Simpson, Tig, Taylor, Rachel? Yeah, so Sandler... I might even go as far now in retrospect and bump Sandler up to Tier 1 and put it below Chad Daniels and make it 17. Like I said, these lists are subjective. I don't even know where I want to bring it, but, I appreciate you, Adam Sandler. And to be fair to some specials that I have not seen Rose Matafeo on Max, Nate Bargatze's Christmas Eve special, the Netflix roast thing at the end of the year, Michelle Buteau on New Year's Eve, Alana Glazer's hilarious special, plus, 200 others that came and went on YouTube. That's Tier 2. Feel encouraged to start a discussion in the Facebook group. If you agree, disagree, maybe you're like, John, you nailed it. That was 100%. I agree with everything you said. You could do that too. Facebook group is Daily Comedy News Podcast Group. Please feel encouraged to join us there. Please feel encouraged to start a conversation on your own. We do have some listeners on the show who've been upgraded to moderator. They help me keep the porn bots out. You'll be asked some very basic questions. One of the questions, what is your quest? All right, back tomorrow with the specials that did not make either list.